Commander Sarah Chen stood at the helm of the HMS Resilient, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the devastation of Nova Prima colony. The experimental warship's quantum sensors picked up the aftermath of the Hegemony's surprise attack, burning cities, shattered defense platforms, and the wreckage of humanity's outer rim fleet scattered across the orbital lanes. "Status report," she ordered, her voice steady despite the horror unfolding before them. The bridge crew worked their stations with practiced efficiency, though the tension was palpable in the air. "Multiple Hegemony battle groups detected," Commander Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez reported from Tactical. "They're systematically targeting all major colonial centers. The quantum wake signatures suggest they've hit at least 6 other colonies simultaneously." Chen's jaw tightened. The Hegemony had been eerily quiet for months, and now she knew why. They'd been preparing for this. A coordinated strike aimed at humanity's most vulnerable settlements. "Any word from Fleet Command?" she asked, already suspecting the answer. Communications Officer Yuki Tanaka shook her head, her fingers dancing across her haptic interface. "Nothing on any channels, Commander. Just emergency beacons and," she hesitated, "civilian distress calls." The bridge fell silent save for the soft hum of the Resilient's experimental quantum core. Chen felt the weight of 200 crew members' lives on her shoulders, along with the responsibility of commanding humanity's most advanced warship. The Resilient was supposed to be running final trials of its breakthrough technologies: the quantum drive, adaptive shield matrix, and neural-linked weapon systems. Instead, they were witnessing what could be the beginning of humanity's end. "Dr. Ibrahim," Chen called to the ship's chief scientist, "what's the status of the quantum systems?" Dr. Amira Ibrahim looked up from her station, her dark curls framing a face marked by both brilliance and worry. "All experimental systems are stable, Commander. The quantum core is performing beyond expectations, and the neural interface is at 98% synchronization. Whatever these systems can do, they're ready to do it." Chen nodded, a plan already forming in her mind. The Resilient wasn't just any warship. It represented the pinnacle of human innovation, a testbed for technologies that the Hegemony couldn't possibly anticipate. They might be outgunned, but they weren't outmatched. 3 weeks after the initial Hegemony attack, the HMS Resilient had become more than just a ship. It had become a phantom that haunted the dreams of alien commanders. Commander Chen watched the tactical display as another successful raid concluded, their quantum torpedoes phasing through the shields of a Hegemony munitions depot before detonating with surgical precision. "Target neutralized," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, satisfaction evident in his voice. "No casualties, but they won't be supplying weapons to their forward bases anytime soon." "Quantum wake signature masked," Dr. Ibrahim added from her station. "As far as their sensors are concerned, we were never here." Chen nodded, studying the aftermath of their latest strike. The Resilient had developed a reputation among the Hegemony forces, a ghost ship that appeared from nowhere, struck with impossible weapons, and vanished before retaliation could be mounted. But reputation wasn't enough. They needed to do more. "Commander," Officer Tanaka called out, her voice tense, "I'm intercepting Hegemony communications. They're executing civilians on Nova Arcturus, making an example to discourage resistance." The bridge fell silent. Chen felt her hands tighten on the arms of her command chair. The Hegemony was growing desperate, resorting to terror tactics to maintain control of their conquered territories. Each victory by the Resilient had made them more brutal, more determined to crush any hint of human defiance. "Dr. Ibrahim," Chen said, her voice carefully controlled, "tell me about the progress on Project Echo." The scientist pulled up a holographic display of complex quantum formulas. "The quantum resonance technology is stable. We can theoretically use it to communicate with other human vessels and settlements instantaneously, regardless of distance. The Hegemony's subspace monitoring would never detect it." "Theoretically," Executive Officer Park raised an eyebrow. "We've never tested it at extended range," Ibrahim admitted. and we don't know if there are even any human ships left to receive the signal. Chen stood, walking to the main viewport. Stars streaked past as the Resilient cruised at quantum speed, invisible to conventional sensors. We're not the only ones fighting back. There have to be other survivors, other resistance cells. We just need to find them. She turned to her crew. The hegemony thinks they can break our spirit through fear, but they fundamentally misunderstand what makes humanity dangerous. We don't just adapt, we thrive on adversity. Each challenge makes us stronger, more innovative. Lieutenant Rodriguez spoke up from Tactical. Commander, I've been analyzing our combat data. The neural interface lets us predict hegemony response patterns with 89% accuracy now. If we combine that with Dr. Ibrahim's quantum resonance technology, we could coordinate resistance efforts across multiple sectors. Chen finished, seeing the potential. Create a shadow network right under their noses. She turned to Dr. Ibrahim. How long to get Project Echo ready for full deployment? 48 hours, minimum, the scientist replied. But Commander, there's a risk. If we broadcast the quantum signal at full power, there's a chance the hegemony might detect the energy surge, even if they can't intercept the communication itself. Chen considered this. Every action they took carried risk, but the potential reward, finding and uniting other human survivors, was worth it. Begin preparations. In the meantime, we have another mission. She brought up the tactical display, highlighting a sector near Nova Arcturus. The hegemony is terrorizing civilians to draw us out, so let's give them something else to worry about. Her fingers traced a path through the star system. Their command and control center for this sector is here, coordinating their persecution of human settlements. That's a heavily fortified position, Park warned. Multiple defense platforms, at least 3 capital ships on patrol. Which is why they won't expect us to hit it, Chen replied. Dr. Ibrahim, how many quantum torpedoes can we modify to carry the neural interface virus? The scientist did quick calculations. 4, maybe 5. The virus would temporarily disable their neural networks, but we have to get extremely close to deliver them effectively. Then we'll get close. Chen's voice carried absolute conviction. Lieutenant Santos, plot us a course through the asteroid field here. We'll use the mineral deposits to mask our approach. The crew began preparations, each member moving with the precision and confidence born of weeks of successful operations. They had learned to trust not just their commander, but their ship's unique capabilities and their own growing expertise in quantum warfare. One more thing, Chen addressed her crew. When we hit their command center, I want you to broadcast this message on all frequencies. She keyed in a short text. You cannot break what bends. You cannot destroy what adapts. Humanity is not just surviving. We are evolving. As the Resilient moved into position for its most daring raid yet, Chen reflected on how far they'd come. They were no longer just fighting for survival. They were rewriting the rules of warfare itself. The hegemony had thought technology would give them an insurmountable advantage. Instead, it had become their greatest vulnerability against human ingenuity. All hands, battle stations, she ordered. The familiar hum of the quantum core deepened as power flowed to their experimental systems. In the distance, the hegemony command center floated serenely in space, its defenders unaware that they were about to learn another harsh lesson about underestimating humanity's resourcefulness. The ghost ship was about to become very, very real. The quantum resonance pulse rippled through space, invisible to conventional sensors, but carrying hope across the stars. Commander Chen watched the monitoring station as Dr. Ibrahim fine-tuned Project Echo's frequencies, searching for any response to their coded message. Signal strength holding at maximum, Ibrahim reported, dark circles under her eyes revealing countless sleepless nights of work. If anyone's out there with quantum-compatible technology, they'll hear us. Hours passed with no response. The bridge crew maintained their stations, each ping of the quantum pulse carrying their hopes further into the void. Chen was about to order a temporary shutdown when Officer Tanaka suddenly straightened in her chair. "Commander, receiving quantum response, multiple responses." Her fingers flew across her console. "Decoding now." The main display lit up with incoming signals. Chen's heart raced as she read the first message. HMS Dauntless responding. Captain Maria Torres commanding. "We survived the initial attack. Currently hiding in the Magellan Cloud with 2,000 civilian refugees." More messages followed. The HMS Intrepid, operating from a hidden base in the Perseus Arm. The Titan mining colony, its inhabitants having sealed themselves inside massive underground chambers. A dozen research outposts that had masked their signatures using experimental cloaking technology. "They're all out there," Chen breathed, relief washing over her. "Fighting, surviving, just like us." Lieutenant Rodriguez's tactical analysis appeared alongside the incoming messages. Early estimates suggest at least 30,000 human survivors across 17 different locations, Commander. Many with access to advanced technology or critical resources. Executive Officer Park leaned forward, studying the data. "The hegemony didn't get everyone, and they didn't get our best tech." Chen nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. "Dr. Ibrahim, can you establish a stable quantum network between all these locations?" "Better than that," the scientist replied, excitement breaking through her exhaustion. "The quantum resonance is self-strengthening. Each node we add makes the network more stable and harder to detect. We can create a completely secure communication grid. Then let's put it to use." Chen opened a channel to all responding signals. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of the HMS Resilient. What we're about to build isn't just a resistance. It's the future of humanity. Each of you has something unique to offer, something the hegemony couldn't destroy." She paused, letting her words carry weight. "The Titan colony has raw materials. The research outposts have bleeding-edge technology. The refugee ships have skilled people from every field imaginable. Together, we can do more than just survive. We can win." The responses came quickly, each group eager to contribute. The Titan colony offered their vast mineral resources. The research outposts shared breakthroughs in quantum mechanics and neural interfaces. Captain Torres reported that many of her refugees were military personnel and scientists who had escaped with crucial technical knowledge. "Commander," Lieutenant Santos called from navigation. "The Magellan Cloud survivors are transmitting coordinates for a rendezvous point. An old terraforming station hidden in a plasma storm. The hegemony can't patrol there." Chen studied the coordinates. The location was perfect, naturally shielded from detection, and large enough to serve as a central base. "Send acknowledgement. We'll need to coordinate our movements carefully. The hegemony still controls the main space lanes." "About that," Rodriguez interjected, "I've been compiling our combat data with tactical information from the other survivors. The hegemony's patrol patterns have become predictable. They're stretched thin trying to control too much territory. Their own empire works against them," Park observed. "They need massive supply lines to maintain their forces, and we've been disrupting those for weeks." Chen called up a galactic map, watching as the locations of all human survivors were marked, scattered points of light in the darkness, but connected now by invisible quantum threads. Each point represented not just survivors, but hope that grew stronger with each connection made. "Here's what we're going to do," she addressed both her crew and the quantum network. "First, we establish secure supply lines between all our locations. The Resilient will provide escort and tactical support. Dr. Ibrahim, I want you coordinating with the research outposts to upgrade everyone's quantum technology." She turned to her tactical officer. "Lieutenant Rodriguez, work with Captain Torres and the other military survivors. I want a comprehensive analysis of hegemony vulnerabilities. They think they're hunting scattered survivors. I want them to realize they're facing an organized resistance." The quantum network hummed with activity as plans were made and resources coordinated. What had started as one ship's defiance was becoming something much larger. a hidden network of humanity's best and brightest, working together to turn the tide. One more thing, Chen added, her voice carrying across the quantum frequencies. The hegemony thought they could break us by destroying our worlds, but they didn't understand what humanity really is. We're not defined by our planets or our possessions. We're defined by our spirit, our ingenuity, and our determination to face any challenge. The responses came back filled with determination and purpose. Humanity had lost its homes but found something perhaps more valuable: unity in the face of extinction, strength in combined purpose. As the Resilient set course for the rendezvous point, Chen watched her crew working with renewed energy. The ghost ship was no longer alone in its fight. The shadows between the stars now held a network of hope, invisible to their enemies, but growing stronger with each passing moment. The real resistance was about to begin. Dr. Ibrahim burst onto the bridge of the Resilient, her eyes wild with excitement. "Commander Chen, we found it. The fatal flaw in their entire system." The past month had transformed the hidden terraforming station into a hub of resistance activity. Ships moved through quantum corridors, research teams collaborated across vast distances, and the hegemony's grip on their conquered territories grew weaker by the day. But this could change everything. "Show me," Chen ordered, calling up the main holographic display. The bridge crew gathered around as Ibrahim projected a complex diagram of hegemony neural architecture. "Their entire empire runs on a centralized quantum network," Ibrahim explained, highlighting key nodes in the display. "Ships, weapons, even their planetary defense systems, all connected through quantum entanglement. It's what makes them so coordinated, so efficient." Lieutenant Rodriguez leaned forward, studying the patterns. "And so vulnerable. One point of failure could cascade through their entire system." "Exactly," Ibrahim confirmed. "The research teams from Outpost 7 found something fascinating in the data we gathered. The hegemony's quantum network operates on a fundamental frequency, a sort of cosmic signature. If we can disrupt that frequency, we could blind their entire empire." Chen finished, seeing the possibility. "How long would the disruption last?" "Minutes, maybe hours," Ibrahim replied. "But that's not all. The quantum cascade would temporarily reverse their shield harmonics. Everything they built to keep us out would keep them in," Park said softly. "Their own defenses would become their prison." Chen studied the data, her tactical mind racing through implications. "What would we need to trigger this disruption?" "That's the hard part," Ibrahim admitted. "We'd need to deliver a quantum resonance pulse directly to their central command hub, the heart of their network. It's in the most heavily defended system in their empire." The main display shifted to show their target, a massive space station orbiting a black hole, protected by layers of defense platforms and patrol fleets. The hegemony's nerve center, where their leaders coordinated the subjugation of countless species. Conventional assault would be suicide, Rodriguez noted, running simulations. "Even with our entire fleet, we couldn't break through those defenses." "Then we don't use conventional tactics," Chen replied. She turned to her communication officer. "Tanaka, get me Captain Torres and the other resistance leaders. Full quantum conference." Within moments, the bridge was filled with holographic projections of humanity's remaining military commanders. Chen laid out Ibrahim's discovery and the opportunity it presented. "This is our chance," she concluded. "One strike to disable their entire network. But we'll need every ship, every resource, and every bit of human ingenuity we have." Captain Torres spoke first, her hologram flickering slightly. "The Dauntless carries prototype gravity manipulators. If we can get close enough to that black hole, we could use its gravitational field to amplify the quantum pulse," Ibrahim finished, excitement building. "That would increase our window of disruption significantly." Other commanders offered resources and ideas. The Titan colony had developed new stealth materials. The research outposts had prototype weapons. Each piece added to a plan that grew more audacious by the moment. "Listen carefully," Chen addressed the assembled leaders. What I'm proposing isn't just an attack. It's a symphony of coordinated strikes that must be executed perfectly. We get one shot at this. The plan took shape over hours of discussion. The Resilient would lead a small strike team to deliver the quantum pulse, using combined stealth technology to approach the command hub. Other ships would create diversions, drawing away defender fleets. The timing had to be perfect, too early or too late, and the entire operation would fail. There's something else we need to consider, Park said gravely. When their network goes down, thousands of hegemony ships will be trapped behind their own shields. The crews will be at our mercy, Chen finished, just as they showed no mercy to our worlds. She paused, looking at each holographic face. But we're better than that. We'll offer terms, a chance for surrender and cooperation. This isn't about revenge. It's about ensuring humanity's survival and building a future where no species can dominate another. The resistance leaders nodded in agreement. They had seen enough death, enough destruction. This was a chance not just for victory, but for transformation. How long to prepare? Chen asked Ibrahim. 3 days to modify our quantum systems and coordinate with all ships, the scientist replied. We'll only have one chance to get the frequency exactly right. Chen stood, addressing all present. Then we have 3 days to prepare for the most important battle in human history. Not for revenge, not for glory, but for the right to exist, to prove that humanity deserves its place among the stars. As the holographic conference ended, Chen looked at her crew. They had come so far from that terrible day when Earth's colonies burned. From a single ship fighting for survival to the coordinators of humanity's greatest resistance. Send word through the quantum network, she ordered. All ships, all stations, prepare for Operation Starbreak. We're about to remind the galaxy why humanity has always been the most dangerous species they've ever encountered. The next 3 days would determine not just their fate, but the future of the galaxy itself. The breaking point was approaching, and humanity would either emerge stronger or fade into cosmic history. The countdown to Operation Starbreak had begun. The black hole's massive silhouette dominated the Resilient's view screen, its gravitational pull already affecting their sensor readings. Commander Chen watched as the final pieces of Operation Starbreak moved into position. Dozens of human ships, hidden in quantum silence, waited for her signal. Status report, she ordered, her voice calm despite the weight of the moment. Stealth systems at maximum efficiency, Rodriguez reported. The combined heightened colony shielding and our quantum masking is holding. As far as their sensors are concerned, we're just background radiation. Dr. Ibrahim worked furiously at her station, making final adjustments to the quantum pulse device, resonance frequency locked. The gravitational amplification calculations are precise. When this triggers, it will cascade through their entire network. All resistance ships report ready, Tanaka added. Captain Torres and the Dauntless are in position near the secondary gravity well. The diversion fleet is standing by. Chen nodded, activating the quantum network one final time. All ships, this is Commander Chen. In moments, we launch an operation that will decide the future of not just humanity, but all species who suffer under hegemony rule. Remember your training. Remember why we fight. And remember, we are humanity. We don't just survive. We prevail. The responses came back clear and determined. Every ship, every crew member, ready to risk everything for this one chance at victory. Begin Operation Starbreak, Chen commanded. Phase 1. Initiate. Across 3 sectors, human ships suddenly appeared from quantum silence, launching aggressive attacks on hegemony patrol fleets. The response was immediate. Defense vessels peeled away from the command hub, rushing to counter these unexpected threats. Phase 2. Chen ordered as their sensor screens showed the defensive grid thinning. Lieutenant Santos, take us in. Thread the needle. The Resilient glided forward, using the black hole's gravitational distortions to mask their approach. They passed within kilometers of massive hegemony warships, their combined stealth technologies rendering them invisible to enemy sensors. Distance to target, 15,000 kilometers, Santos reported. Gravitational forces increasing. Hull stress at 60%, Park warned. The black hole's pulling us harder than calculated. Chen gripped her command chair. Dr. Ibrahim. Status of the quantum pulse. The gravitational forces are actually helping, the scientist replied, excitement breaking through her professional tone. The black hole's warping spacetime exactly as we hoped. When the pulse detonates, the gravitational lens effect will amplify it beyond their ability to counter. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. Multiple ships on intercept course. Rodriguez shouted, "They're firing blind, but their pattern will hit us in 10 seconds. Evasive maneuvers," Chen ordered. "But maintain our approach vector. We won't get another chance at this." The Resilient twisted through space, avoiding the worst of the barrage, but several hits struck home. The ship shuddered under the impact. "Shield harmonics destabilizing," Park reported. "One more direct hit, and we'll be visible to their sensors." "Almost there," Santos called out, her hands dancing across the helm controls. 5,000 kilometers. 3,000. Chen opened a channel to the entire resistance fleet. "All ships, prepare for Phase 3. The moment our pulse hits, strike with everything you have. Remember, disable, don't destroy. We're here to end this war, not start a new one." 1,000 kilometers, Santos announced. "We're entering the optimal firing position." Chen turned to Dr. Ibrahim. "Doctor, it's time. Show them what human ingenuity can do." Ibrahim nodded, entering the final sequence. Quantum pulse armed. Gravitational amplification at maximum. Firing in 3, 2, 1. The pulse launched, a sphere of pure quantum energy that seemed to bend reality itself as it traveled. The black hole's gravitational field caught it, amplifying and focusing its power directly into the heart of the hegemony command hub. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, like a wave of silence spreading across space, every hegemony system began to fail. Ships lost power, weapons went dark, and the mighty defense platforms protecting their command hub turned inward, trapping their creators inside. "It worked," Ibrahim exclaimed. "The quantum cascade is spreading through their entire network. Estimated disruption time, 3 hours. All ships, execute Phase 3. Chen commanded. The resistance fleet burst into action, disabled hegemony vessels everywhere. But instead of destruction, they broadcast a single message, an offer of surrender, of cooperation, of a new way forward. On the command hub's main communication channel, a voice spoke, the High Commander of the hegemony himself. "How? How did you do this? Our technology was perfect, unbeatable." "That was your mistake," Chen replied, her voice firm but not unkind. "You sought perfection. We embrace adaptation. You built walls. We found ways through them. You tried to break us, but instead, you forced us to become stronger." She paused, letting her words sink in. "Now you have a choice. Continue this war when your systems restore, lose more lives on both sides, or work with us. Learn from us, as we can learn from you. The galaxy is vast enough for all of us, but only if we move forward together." Hours later, as the quantum disruption began to fade, the response came. The hegemony, faced with the ingenuity and determination of humanity, chose cooperation over continuation of war. They had finally understood what made humans so formidable, not their technology, but their spirit, their ability to adapt, to innovate, to find hope in the darkest moments. Standing on the bridge of the Resilient, Commander Sarah Chen looked out at the changed galaxy. Human ships and hegemony vessels now worked side by side, beginning the process of building something new. They had done more than survive. They had changed the very nature of galactic civilization. "Send word to all human colonies and settlements," she ordered. Tell them to come home. Tell them it's time to rebuild, to grow, to show the galaxy what humanity can really achieve when we're not fighting for survival. As the message spread, Chen thought about their journey. From a single ship fighting desperate odds to the architects of a new era of peace, they had proved what she had always known, that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their weapons or their technology, but in their unbreakable spirit and their capacity to transform adversity into opportunity. The stars seemed brighter somehow, full of promise rather than threat. The ghost ship had completed its mission, but its legacy would echo through the cosmos for generations to come. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through conquest, but through the very qualities that made them unique: innovation, adaptation, and the wisdom to choose peace when victory was achieved. The dawn of a new age had arrived, and humanity would help light the way forward.